linguists are gonna love this
Oh,
one.
look, this is so for those of you that maybe aren't following Tangwar Teacher and Wizard Way Chris, our resident elven experts, there is some elvish on this one. Tangwar, I'm just like New knows about the Silmarillion, I'm gonna let you and Chris have at it on this one, so go ahead.
You can start, Jamie.
All right. So, first of all, the Elvish is upside down. So, a lot of people were posting it saying, "Hey, what does this say? What does this say?" And they had it upside down. But if you don't know, you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So, actually, what this individual is doing is pulling out a scroll, and you can see that it's upside down. So, what I did is I took it, I blew it up, flipped it over, and then I started looking at it, just thinking second age, right? Like, what would it say for a second age writing? And so the first thing that I would normally go to it looks like and appears like Balerian's Sindering. The problem is once I started trying to figure out what the words were, I started noticing that it was a transliteration of English because
Really?
I saw
Our
I saw one
our
of the
thought
words.
process is exactly the same. We had the
I,
same exact struggle.
I
Yeah.
saw one of the words was from, and I
Right.
was thinking, that sounds like a really interesting Elvish word.
Hmm.
And then the next one I did was south. And I looked at the way it was done, using the Sindarin characters and the accents. And I was like, well, maybe this is some type of Elvish word. So I started looking into it. I looked up the meaning of south in Elvish, which actually means a word which means hole or tunnel. And I was thinking, well, maybe it's something to do like that. And then the more I started looking at the other words, it became apparent to me that this was actually an English sentence using the Sindarin characters in a way to transliterate it. So it was a little bit blurry on one of the ends, but I could notice using the characters, it says kings. And then the second word really threw me off for a while because it says something to the effect of SKWOE, which would be pronounced like squow. And
Squall.
Squall.
King
but,
Squall. Marriage is what brings us together.
Together.
Let's
Today.
read the King's Squall.
The King Squall.
I want that to be what it is.
That is what it is.
Oh, beautiful.
It's actually what it is.
I've got to
That
give
is what it is.
props to one of
What?
some of you guys
Wait,
know,
wait, no,
Monday.
I thought you were kidding.
No,
Can-
I
can-
was, but yes.
It is.
What?
It's SKWOE.
Yes.
Yes, but
Please tell me that means please tell me that means something. You're the Silmarillion expert here. Glam? Is it Nordic or something?
Language. You got me with the language.
This is a very strange phonemic spelling of scroll. Because if they had used Mode of Beleriand and done a double L, it would have looked like on the Doors of Moria, where you say, pedo melon amino, melon with the double L. It's two Lambe characters. So it looks very odd. It doesn't look elegant at all. And so I think that they just switched it up to a phonemic mode to try and avoid the awkwardness of it. And it just sounds hilarious instead. Squall.
Tolkien.
Or who knows? Maybe the person who wrote this squall has an accent.
Tolkien is what brings us together.
What brings us together.
No, we know that. Don't we know that Sindarin?
Blessed arrangement.
This is a question
Go
because
ahead.
I want to learn here.
Sure.
Sindarin does get used in this manner in canon as well. Is that not correct? I thought that the inscription
Not
on the One
really.
Ring was a transliteration from Black
No.
Speech. Is that wrong?
No, it
Chris,
is
go ahead.
actually Black Speech. So there I mean, Jamie could answer this too. But Black Speech is basically a bastardization of Elvish, which
Right.
is in line with what Sauron tended to do. He didn't create things really, but he perverted things that already existed. So
Mhm.
using the written language of the elves was like insulting the elves. It's the use of language as a weapon. And so what he did is he switched up the vowels So like U's are O's and O's are U's. He tried to make it's all words backwards are evil. It's kind of like that vibe. So it does actually spell out the language of Black speech, and that's the whole Ashnazg thing. Emily, welcome.
Hey, hello. Okay, real quick break moment. We are joined by Emily Elizabeth, also known as Silmaremily, who goes on TikTok and also got one of the exclusive images. Emily, would you like to do yours next? Are you ready to jump in, or do you need a minute?
You guys finish what you were doing. I'll go next.
We'll come back to
that
you.
was an aside anyway.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was an
clarifying.
aside. I can wrap it up. So basically, Black speech is a bastardization of Elvish. It has some differences, but it does actually spell out Black speech, which is the Ashnazg stuff.
The same thing with the elves do to Sauron's name. Sauron doesn't allow his name to be said or written because his name is a bastardization of his real name, and the elves do the same thing. What he does to their language. So it's funny to see the juxtaposition there. I'm sorry to jump in like that, Chris. But
no, but that's exactly true. Sauron's real name is Myron, which means impressive, and so they basically took that name and flipped it on its end and made fun of him. And so he's basically trying to get his back again when he when he insults the elves by using their language, especially because everyone hated Feanor. So if he's able to use Feanor's alphabet in order to insult the elves, he will absolutely do that.
It's like everybody hates Chris, but instead it's everybody hates Feanor.
Isn't it funny how petty these terrifying superpowers can be?
I know, right? That just makes them so much more real to me.
Absolutely.
Can I say one more thing, Don?
Yeah, go ahead. Please jump in.
I want to wrap this up with this image in case anybody's really curious about it. Flip it over, zoom in. Don't worry about the Elvish. Look at the photo or the drawing, the artwork. It looks like an opening. It looks like some trees, some individuals. And this is what the complete writing says. It says King's Scroll, and it has a little dot in the middle. And it says View from South. So for whatever that means in the lore or how that's going to play out in the show, but this individual who's dressed in red and gold, I was wondering if this is representative of a possible king or Gilgalad. That's my thoughts.
And I have one more thing to add as well.
Please.
So when you flip it over, if you look at what would, if it were right side up.
Wait, hang on. Can I do that on? Hang on. I need to be able to.
Yeah.
Right click, transform.
Rotate 180 degrees. Hey, we got it on stream. Okay, go ahead, Chris.
Okay, so when this is flipped over, if you go to that bottom right-hand corner, it's super, super faint, but you can see it. It says Eregion.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Same thing that happens to be on my t-shirt.
That's amazing. I'm literally
this is my
covering
Team Eregion shirt.
I'm literally covering everybody's face so we can get an up-close personal look at this stream.
It's so hard to see because it's super faint, but there is E-R-E-G. They used a long carrier for the I, but then O-N. So yeah, they do have it. It's in Mode of Beleriand.
But
it says Eregion.
That's
cool. That's what I did.
Awesome. Good job, Chris. All right. So
welcome.
New, go ahead.
If I could offer something real quick. So if I'm thinking of View from the South or anything from the South, if we know anything about Mythland, it's going to be the northernmost part of Middle Earth where there's a kingdom. So that's where Gilgalad is. Gilgalad's the king. Any other king that needs to correspond with Gilgalad is going to be from the South. Also, the kings of Numenor at the time lended aid to Gilgalad in his war against Sauron. Correspondence there, correspondence with Eregion, which I wouldn't say necessarily that Celebrimbor is a king, but Celebrimbor, we have the king, and he's the lord of he's the lord of Eregion, and then we have the kings of Moria or Khazad-dûm as it was back then. Then we have there is a kingdom in Lothlorien. It isn't ruled by Galadriel or Celeborn yet, but that correspondence there, and also the settlings on the coast. And then we also have the kings of men. So any correspondence is coming from the south north to him, and he would be who is fighting with Sauron at this time. So they would need to correspond with him because he rules pretty much all of not Aragion, but Eriador, more so. Where the hobbits live at now, that was all under his rule before Elendil came and everything like that. So it's interesting. That scroll, I think it might be Gilgalad, considering what Tangwar said. But this is just off the top of my head thinking.
I like it.
So,
I like it. I like it.
The
Okay.
part of the writing on it that's interesting to me, that's not necessarily the view from the south, it's the part that says King's Scroll, because it seems really juvenile to just like label something that way, you know, like my diary or whatever, you know what I mean? Like to write like King's Scroll on a King's Scroll seems really, it doesn't, you know, I'm just wondering if that has any other implications, because it seems really silly.
It could have been given to him, though, you know.
Right.
That is true. Okay,
Yeah.
so we are going to transition now